Hey guys, HappyCattyCrypto here and welcome back to the channel. So let's just dive straight into this one because it's quite a bullish bit of news to really come forward. And what I'm seeing here is the community is being listened to. We've wanted tax to gas for some time. It's really a scenario where the chain needs this technology to be put forward. In a sense, it's all in the name. You're taking tax and making everything gas. Now, when it comes down to the system being Lunar Classic, it's very complex when it comes to the transaction side of thing. In essence, this is a huge cleanup of the wardrobe, and it makes the wardrobe far more presentable to any girlfriends we may be having over in the future. And by girlfriends, I mean CEXs. Now, the biggest dilemma with the burning is having CEXs actually abide by the burning. Currently, it's only Binance that abides by the burning. We see that one monthly burn. And this is really good, but we could do a lot more, but it really does come bite to crunch and boils down to very basic problems on chain. And it's just very confusing for these CEXs to implement 3 different taxes. It gets confusing. And then what else I've always found to be a problem is the burn tax itself is seen as this very negative thing that they're giving something extra to the blockchain and that we're going to benefit highly from it and stuff like that. And it's really a scenario where we're all in the crypto boat and we're all trying to see crypto be mass adopted. So it's kind of in everybody's best interest to help each other out at this point. Now, with all of this being said, right, what is the most exciting thing about tax to gas? For me, I would definitely say it's the possibility of being able to present this new gas system to CEXs and say, this is the gas, this is how it works. The burn tax is actually buried inside it. And this would be very similar to many other blockchains, for example, like XRP Ripple, who burn on the transaction. And although they've got the escrow unlocks and it doesn't help, it's still hyperdeflationary. There's still a burn mechanism built in very deep inside the system, even with it being very, very minuscule. Now, like I said, for me, this takes the burning and it buries it, it hides it, but it hides it in a good way where it becomes the norm, the normality of the transaction itself. So this could lead us to a far better approach where CEXs are more willing to adopt this burn tax, so to speak. But as we move forward, I think this is going to be really good because many people who come further along the line, it wouldn't be seen or deemed as a burn tax. It would just be deemed as part of the gas fee. And it would become the norm, the normality, like I'm saying. So it's really good to see Genuine Labs, excuse my throat, everybody. It's been a crazy week. Genuine Labs getting this tax to gas implementation up. There is another proposal up for them to become the core maintainers of the Terra Classic repository, which will need to do a video independently. I think that really needs a few Twitter spaces and you should hear from all different parties. I think that'd be a really good idea, but it's good to see all of this forward movement. It's good to see less confusion going on, so to speak, as to what the developer's doing, where we're going and what the heading is currently. It seems that they've tied off all of the different little things that they can really tie off, although there are people asking for Genuine Labs to upgrade to the next SDK. I think in itself, this is a bad idea just because of the fact that it should be tried and tested by a lot of bigger blockchains first. There could be a lot of different issues with it and it might not integrate very well. So during that time, right, what is good things to do? Well, it's good to go around and clean up the house, and tax to gas is definitely going around and cleaning up the house. But we've heard all sorts of different things, like people wanting the market module up, which is totally normal, USDT repegs, so many different things, people wanting Astroport back, which comes down to a layer 2 side of things. So it's all really interesting. Now, when it comes down to development and obviously Astroport, I think it's a good point and time for the community to kind of understand that there's a considerable amount of funding in the community pool. There's just under 5.5 billion LUNC in the community pool and just over 12 million USTC. And the USTC is really vital if you were to hire an L2 team to pursue fixing Astroport and getting it up and running, because it's not just a matter of getting it fixed and up and running. It will need a maintenance team. It needs someone who will maintain it and stand by it at all turns. And this will obviously be incentivized by a paycheck in the normal world. But hey, who knows? It's crypto, so we just don't know what's going to happen. So as you can tell, we've got a lot of funding and we've got a very, very good sprint ahead of us. BTC is currently punching out above 70k. It's currently at 71k on my left screen. ETH is at 30, imagine it, 3.8k, which is really good. So everything's starting to move up and we're seeing less of the narrative-based stuff. A lot of these people have just suddenly disappeared, which is really good for us. It's good, and it just seems we're going in the right direction. So what do you think about more or less getting an L2 development team? Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think we should wait? Do you think maybe we don't have enough funding for this? Let me know what you think. How do you feel about all of these different things? So like I was saying, alongside that tax to gas, we do have the Genuine Labs maintenance proposal up, which is them more or less taking control of the core repository. So this is a big step. And although we've grown a lot, I definitely think this is something that should be discussed in depth. But let me know what you think. You know, I've seen a lot of people are just happy to ape into this. I'm happy to ape into it, but I'm also wanting to hear all of the different points that are available, because maybe there's something that we've missed. Maybe there was something that's swept under the rug. Maybe there's just that very small little thing that's not being put forward yet. So these are all really, really important and interesting points. And as it goes for the price of Terra Classic, things are looking interesting. We're still tracking along that trend line. I think this is really important because a lot of people I see are undelegating, they're moving away. And when I look at it, you've just gone through probably one of the hardest movements a crypto's gone through. And we're finally getting to a point now where everything seems to be calming down. The developers are developing, people are working on their projects. They're not caught up in the arguments and the bickering and the drama and wondering what's going on. Instead, people are just knuckling down and getting on with it because they can. They don't need to worry about the state of the chain anymore because we've got this development team that are pushing things forward. So I think we're due for some kind of breakout, whether it's big, whether it's small, but I think we're due a breakout above this trend line. As to when that's going to happen, I don't know, but BTC eventually is going to start moving up, but we all need to understand that we could be going through chopsolidation for the next month or two. Now, I don't want to give any predictions or any timelines because all of these people doing that, there's no real historical data available that's relevant to the current situation because we're now sitting in a zone where BTC's just not been up around these areas. And when it wasn't there for long. So we just don't know how everything's going to perform. But if it's everything it's supposed to be choked up to be, utility coins like Luna Classic in the previous bull run moved up 40, 50, 60x. So I think it's going to be a really interesting time. I'll leave links to the Commonwealth, although you've probably got them. I'll leave a link to the Commonwealth anyway. Go and check that out. Really excited to see tax to gas get underway. The price tag on it is very, very reasonable. In my opinion, Genuine Labs pricing is very good. I don't know a great deal, but what I do know from my current understanding and doing some other stuff in other places and checking out some other stuff, they're doing good work and it's at a good price. So I think this is all really good stuff that we should take in to consideration when thinking about having them as the core repository maintainers. All interesting stuff. Like I said, this is a really good price. Really happy with this. They're saying it's going to take around 5 weeks, $25,000. So it's all pretty simple stuff. So this in itself could lead us to a system that's far more beneficial, not only for us, not only for developers, projects, dApps, everything, but getting the CEXs to adopt the burning. And as time's gone on, I'm starting to realize how important the burning is because there's so many of us, right, that just want to buy the bag, stake the bag, sit on the bag, and then sell the bag. And that's literally it. And I understand, I totally get how many people have time to sit and study crypto, and nobody really wants to do that. So I totally get it when it comes down to all of these different things. I really do. But in itself, right, the burn tax is so important because if you can get a good burn in place that's consistently there and it's just buried and things start to perform, the volume picks up, transactions pick up, and thus the burning picks up alongside that. So it's all really bullish stuff. I'm really excited about this. Sorry about my voice. Working on it. I've got 18 stitches, so just bear with me. And other than that, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit the notifications bell to stay informed, and I'll catch you in the next one.